Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you are new, welcome. My name is Hannah, and on this channel we talk all things home decor, home aesthetics, mixing high and low with new and old. And in today's video, we're gonna be sharing some new furniture pieces as well as some styling. So if this is something you are interested in watching, just keep on watching. All right, so I'm gonna be breaking this video up into two separate parts. I have two new furniture pieces that I'm really excited to share with my viewers. And along with sharing these new pieces, we're gonna be doing some styling. But this is gonna be a little bit more of an in-depth styling video, telling you guys some tips and tricks, why I pick certain things, why I place them in certain areas, giving you some inspiration and some knowledge on ways to style your own spaces in your own home. I hope you guys enjoy. If I can link things, they will be down below in the description box. Without further ado, let's get into part one. All right guys, welcome to my living room space and welcome the new console table that backs my sofa. Now, if you've been with me for the last few videos, you guys will notice there has been a lot of change as far as furniture goes, as well as projects that I have taken on in my home. Starting with my dining room refresh, which then bled into my entryway, which now has bled into my living room space. Now, the console table that was originally here was the English beam console from Restoration Hardware, which is now in my entryway space. If you have yet to catch that video, I will make sure to link it here in the cards for you guys to check it out. But since that table went to my entryway, we needed something to replace this. Now, the Thaddeus table, which was my original console table in my entryway, was way too small for this space. So I got on the internet and started doing some research on not only style, but as far as length that I wanted to go. Now, this table is from Restoration Hardware. This is the Oslo sofa back console table. This is a beautiful console table for a variety of different reasons. The reasons why I do shop Restoration Hardware so much, not only is because I worked for the company for a little bit and I know the quality of these items, but I also love the fact that Restoration Hardware offers things in large scale pieces. My sofa is about 140 inches long, so this is a very wide space. And so I wanted to find something that kind of filled up the back of my sofa. The console table that was there previously was 80 inches. This is 90. I almost was going to go for 100, but I think this fills out the space so much more. And a couple things to highlight as far as the console table goes. This is meant to go behind a sofa, so it is a little bit leaner than say a normal console table, which I really do love and enjoy. I wanted to mix my shapes, so my sofa is very squared off. It's got a very modern, harsh look. So the Oslo offers a very rounded, more of a contemporary style, which I thought was really beautiful for this space. It just kind of softens it in a way. Now, this does have 3 shelves, which you guys will see, which is a little bit overwhelming, especially when you have 90 inches of space to style. So in today's video, we're gonna be styling this. I'm gonna walk you guys through a little bit of tips and tricks on how I personally style stuff like this. If you have maybe open shelving or are in the same predicament as me, save this video in your back pocket that you guys can refer to on just different ways to style these types of areas. So let's get into it. All right, we're gonna be starting on the left-hand side of my console table, starting on the top and then working our way down. I'm bringing in my vintage clay pot. These are live olive branches from my tree outside that I'm gonna be pairing on this far left-hand side. Next item we are pairing is a similar option to the large clay pot. This is just in a smaller scale. And as a tip for the moms that have a console table that backs a sofa and you have young children like me, I will actually use pots as a way to kind of hide and mask our remote controls. And it also allows for the kids to not get a hold of them so easily if they were styled on a coffee table. So that's just gonna go right to the right side of our other. Right, the next item we are using is this really beautiful primitive vintage washboard. I really enjoy styling with this piece because it's just visually interesting and it adds a lot of texture based on the ridges there. And I did some little felt pads on the bottom of this so it will not scratch my console table, but I will be using this as a tray. Next item, also bringing in color, we are bringing in candles. So I brought this one on Amazon. This is by the company Patty Wax. And then I found its little sister at Homegoods during one of my shop with me's. And I really enjoy pairing candles like this where they are the same item, but just 2 different sizes. And one thing I really love about these candles as well is once these are done burning, I'm gonna just use them as decor. So they're like a little decorative jar and they look so cute together. So I'm actually gonna place these right on top of that tray. Playing off our color green to the candles to the left, I am bringing in a coffee table book. This is Rural Retreats. This is a beautiful book because it has this almost green hue, which is kind of not showing up on camera, but I love pairing this with my decor because it really does bring in those earthier tones. So this is just gonna go right next to the lamp. Next items to style with, that's gonna end this first shelf of decor. We are bringing in this really inexpensive easel that I found at home, and we're bringing in this really fun picture of a horse. It's kind of like an abstract with a beautiful natural pine frame. This is by the company Luxby, which I don't believe they have in stock anymore. If they do, I'll make sure to link it down below. But we're gonna just pair that right on top of the book. For those of you just clicking on this video, this is a lamp that I found at Homegoods. I know I'm sure I'll get questions from those of you who are just clicking on this video. I found this again at Homegoods. It did have a much larger drum shade when I bought it, but I replaced it with a really nice tapered lampshade. And I'm just gonna have this here as a finisher on the top portion of this console. All right, we are moving to the second shelf of this console table. We're gonna be bringing in some coffee table books. 3 of my books are going to be beautifully organized, Call It Home, and The Bar Home. Now this console table is not very tall as far as height goes, so these were the only books that I had that I could actually style in a vertical orientation that this could accommodate. So we're gonna have these 3 books just pushed up against the side. To act as a bookend, we are gonna be adding this really fun vintage marble mortar. I love utilizing these for a variety of different reasons, but one of those being a kind of placeholder for a bookend. I'm just gonna place it right here next to this book, and these just add so much visual interest, and it's just something a little bit different than your standard book. All right, we are gonna be bringing in 2 more coffee table books for this next vignette of decor, including The Art of Living with White. This was a book that I purchased from HomeGoods, and then I also picked up Patina Modern, which is going to be placed at a horizontal for this next decor area. Now I wanted to take a step back so you guys can see the placement of these books. You will notice I have decor here and I have decor here. So these books are actually just gonna go in that gap between the decor that's on the top. So I'm using this as my guide or as my equation when it comes to styling a multi-level console table like this. So again, I'm placing decor in the middle of the other decor that's placed there on top. The next decor item that we're gonna be placing directly on top of those coffee table books is this really beautiful hand-carved wooden basket. I purchased this from HomeGoods a few years ago. I think it was around $16.99, very inexpensive, but I love styling this because it has a lot of visual interest, and it's also bringing in the warmth factor for wood pieces. Next, we are adding in some of my beloved little iron horses. I purchased these on Wayfair. I have the largest size, and then I also have the little baby size as well. So I'm gonna be pairing these 2 paired together right here in this blank spot. To the right side of the horses here, we are just going to be duplicating the same type style that we did with the wooden basket. We're gonna be bringing in 2 coffee table books. We have Scandi Rustic, and we also have Create. I purchased this on Amazon. This is one of my most favorite books when it comes to coffee table inspiration, home decor. It is one of my favorites. Now to add some decor to the top of those books, we are bringing in this really fun wooden candle holder. This is a candle holder that is meant for a pillar, but honestly, I love styling these just as is. I featured these in my entryway style, and I also featured this on my curated haul. These are super cool. I don't know if they are available. I think you guys sold these out, but this is just gonna go right on top of those books. The last portion of this shelf, we are gonna be bringing in 2 vases that I purchased from Hobby Lobby. These are super inexpensive, but I love how it's got this rustic feel. The handles here, you're definitely getting that kind of designer look without the price tag. This one was priced at $34.99, which I'm pretty sure was 40% off when I bought it. So I had the bigger version, and then I also have the smaller version that matches it, just a little bit different as far as handling goes. Again, love the rustic kind of worn feel of this without having to pay a ton of money. And this guy was priced at $20. So we're just gonna pair these together at the end of this console. All right, this bottom shelf is absolutely 100% challenging to film for YouTube, so I'm gonna do my absolute best here. We are gonna be bringing in 2 more coffee table books for this console table. You guys gotta remember, I'm working with 90 inches of space, so coffee tables are definitely your best friend when it comes to styling something like this. We are bringing in Nomad at Home. And we are also bringing in another one of my absolute favorites. This is Style. This is a beautiful, beautiful book if you guys are on the hunt or if you are looking to gift something. We're gonna be placing these coffee table books at a horizontal right here on this bottom. The next decor element that's just gonna be these books is this amazing find from HomeGoods. I found this incredible marble ruffle dish. This is 12 inches in diameter and I paid $69.99 for this. This has been probably one of my favorite finds that I've gotten from HomeGoods. I know a lot of people are over these. A lot of people refer to them as coffee filters. I can definitely see that reference, but I love these. I think they just add so much interest to any decor space, and it's just such a beautiful design. So this is just gonna go directly on top of those books. Next, I wanted to add something draping out of this bowl, so I went into my home decor collection and picked up these neutral glass beads. I got these from the junk hunt here in San Diego. These are a recycled glass bead in a really neutral clear color. So I'm just gonna place these kind of draping out of this bowl. Moving to the center of this last shelf, we are bringing in my beloved wickered boxes. You guys love these boxes, and so do I for a very good reason. These are from McGee & Co. They come in 2 different sizes. This is the large, and then you have the small that just goes right on top of there. I love the detailing here with the leather strap. These make a great keep away, so if you have remote controls or things you just don't want to be seen, these are awesome. They also add so much texture, so much warmth, and so I'm gonna just place these here on the bottom. All right, we are moving to this last cluster of decor. We're gonna be starting with some coffee table books, including Still. This is the Slow Home. This is a really great book for inspiration, and I just love the imagery on this cover. And for a second book that we're going to be bringing as well for extra layer, this is Arranging Things. I found this actually at HomeGoods, I believe, for $20. This was a book that was on my wish list on Amazon, and I was so excited to come across this at HomeGoods. I'm bringing in this layered marble box that I got from McGee & Co. This is great for a variety of reasons. Not only are we using this for decor, but this is also a nice little keepsake box to hide anything, again, like the wicker boxes that you just don't want seen. So that's just gonna go right on top of the books. The very last piece of decor that we are adding to this last bottom shelf is some greenery to kind of counterbalance the greenery that is on top. This is a fun little faux succulent plant that I got from a boutique here in San Diego, and I'm just gonna be placing it to the left side of this cluster. Here is the final style for my console table. And before I close out this section of the video as far as my console styling goes, there are 4 main things that I want you guys to pay attention to when it comes to styling your own spaces. These are just the things that I look for. These are things that I kind of play off of when it comes to hand selecting my decor for areas like this. Starting with the first one, which is shape. Pay attention to your shape. So you guys will see here, I have the round clay pots here, but I also have squared off wicker boxes. We have the shaping here with the handles on the little vases. We have a squared picture paired with a more rounded base lamp. So shape is really important to make things feel a little bit different, and it's also going to give you different height variations, which is really, really important when it comes to styling. The second one is color. So having color evenly distributed throughout open shelving. So we have white here, we have white here, we have black up here, black down here. So having it be evenly distributed so it's not top heavy on a specific color. The next one is going to be texture. Texture is going to be one of those really big key factors when it comes to styling. So we have the wicker from this box. We have this really beautiful design from that marble. We also have the ridges from that vintage washboard up top to give a little bit more texture as well. You'll also get texture through stems that you use. That's really, really important. Now, the last piece of this styling advice is going to be bringing in things that have visual interest. This is where your personality is going to shine through. This is where it's actually going to be able to tell what you are kind of into. So I'm bringing in these little horses right here. This is something that is visually interesting. It's different than these more standard type decor pieces. These could be heirloom pieces, things that were maybe passed down, things that really stood out to you maybe in an antique store or a vintage shop. You know, things that have some visual interest that are appealing to the eye. That's also going to make your space and your style feel that much better. Now, one thing I also want to add, I know I'm chatting a ton, but if this is too much for you, which it's a lot of decor for most people, if you have something like this and you want to simplify, 2 things you can do to simplify this look. Remove this bottom shelf of decor and just place baskets. So you're only decorating both the top and this bottom lower shelf. This would eliminate more decor and give it more of a simplified look. The second tip, if you want to simplify this without the use of baskets on the bottom, you could do larger scale pieces. So this is a lot of smaller pieces, a lot of smaller type items, which makes it feel a little bit busier. Have bigger scale items, bigger jugs, kind of like these clay pots, maybe big paper mache bowls, things that have larger scale. That's going to take up more square footage in your console table as a way to simplify. And that is it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed my new console table as well as these styling tips and tricks, and hopefully you guys will be able to insert these tips and tricks into your own home, into your own space as you are styling open shelving, console table, or even a sideboard. And until the next video, I love you guys so much. Stay tuned for part 2 and we'll see you guys then. Peace.